The cavern swallowed the light, leaving only the sound of boots crunching on loose volcanic ash. Ahmed stopped. A massive shadow blocked the exit, its edges bleeding into the jagged stone walls like ink in water. It did not breathe. It did not sway. Ahmed stepped forward, his knuckles white as he gripped his gear. "Who are you?" he demanded. His voice hit the ceiling and fell flat, swallowed by the oppressive dark. Silence followed, heavy and absolute. Then, the floor beneath them shuddered. A deep, resonant hum crawled up through the soles of their boots, rattling their teeth. The group braced, hands reaching for weapons, but the shadow began to peel away. It did not fall. It dissolved, like smoke caught in a sudden gale. The darkness vanished, revealing a figure standing in the center of the path. He stood perfectly still, his presence radiating a rhythmic, pulsing light. "I am the guardian of truth," he announced. The voice was not loud, yet it seemed to vibrate within the stone itself. Sara stepped forward, her fingers tight against the hilt of her pack. "Why have you put us through these trials?" she asked. The guardian did not answer with words. He raised a single hand, and the air between them began to ripple like heat over a desert floor. Suddenly, the cavern walls vanished, replaced by flickering, translucent projections. A dense, tangled forest materialized, its vines twisting in the air. Then, the scene shifted to the towering, jagged spires of the lost city. The images blurred and reformed into the shifting, complex puzzles of the mine gate, followed by the searing, orange glow of the volcano. Every trial they had endured played out in miniature, suspended in the dark. Every challenge was a filter, the Guardian explained, his voice steady and cold. Courage, cooperation, intellect, trust, sacrifice. Ahmed watched the image of the forest, seeing the exact moment he had nearly turned back. "You were not just surviving," the Guardian continued, his golden eyes fixed on them. "You were being measured." The projections vanished as quickly as they had appeared, leaving the cavern in silence. The Guardian swept his hand across the cavern floor. The stone groaned, splitting into three distinct, diverging trails. To the left, a path paved with iron and steel pulsed with a low, rhythmic thrum of raw power. It looked unbreakable, a road built for conquerors. To the right, the ground shimmered, overflowing with gold coins and jewels that caught the dim light and threw it back in blinding, greedy flashes. It was a path of endless ease. Straight ahead, a narrow, simple dirt trail cut through the darkness, leading into nothingness. It was unremarkable, rugged, and quiet. "Choose," the Guardian commanded. The word hung in the air, heavier than the stone ceiling above. Maria took a step toward the iron path, her fingers twitching as if she could already feel the weight of a blade. Sophia turned her head, eyes locking onto the glittering gold, her breath hitching in the sudden, sharp silence. The temptation was a physical force, pulling at their focus. Ahmed and Sara stood frozen, their gazes darting between the allure of strength and the promise of riches. The cavern seemed to shrink around them, the air growing thick with the pressure of their indecision. Every second of hesitation deepened the divide between their past struggles and the future they were about to claim. The Guardian remained motionless, a golden-eyed statue waiting for the final word. Yahya did not look at the iron or the gold. He did not look at the power or the riches. He turned, reached out, and gripped his mother's hand. With his other hand, he pulled his father closer, anchoring them together. "We choose the family path," Yahya said. His voice was steady, cutting through the cavern's heavy silence. Ahmed and Sara locked eyes. The doubt that had clouded their faces vanished in a single, synchronized nod. "We are with him," they declared, as they stepped onto the narrow dirt trail. The iron path and the gold-strewn road dissolved into thin air. A blinding white light erupted from the ground where they stood, expanding with a roar that shook the stalactites above. The fragments of light they had gathered fused together, hardening into a single pulsating diamond that hovered in the air. The Guardian stood before them, his expression softening. You have passed the ultimate test, he whispered. The triumph lasted only a heartbeat. The diamond in the Guardian's palm shuddered, its golden light bleeding into a jagged, warning crimson. The hum turned into a high-pitched whine that rattled the teeth. Beneath their feet, the stone floor groaned. A hairline fracture raced across the ground, splitting the path they had just chosen. The Guardian's face hardened, the warmth of his expression replaced by a sharp, sudden urgency. "The test is over," he shouted, his voice barely audible over the grinding of shifting rock. He pointed toward the ceiling as large stone shards began to rain down. "But the real danger has just awakened." The walls buckled inward. Dust choked the air, turning the light into a hazy, suffocating fog. The ground beneath them gave way, dropping into a dark, yawning abyss. The secret of the jewel was unraveling, and the floor was gone.